Hi there, this is Jen, and thanks so much for joining me today. I'm excited to bring you another few cards as a new design team member for Clair Designs. If you didn't catch my first video, it is over on the Clair Designs YouTube channel. I'm using this beautiful floral friendship collection, which is part of the new release from Clair, and today I will be using or creating two cards using this set. So I've gone ahead and I printed these out on my laser printer, and I went ahead and I took the single floral piece and then I just made a bunch of them, so there are a bunch of 5, and then I modified the sentiments a little bit, but because I printed these on my laser printer, that allows me to go ahead and foil these. So I'm using some foil I had in my stash, and I'm just going to cut that down to size. So I'm going to foil the sentiment sets first in this pretty red foil, and I am using my Mink to do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it in this little paper pocket and run this through my Mink machine. This is a mini Mink actually. You can use a laminating machine if that's what you have. And then it's time for the big reveal. And so when you pull away that piece of foil paper, that beautiful red shines through. And then for the florals, I'm going to go ahead and use this pearlescent foil, and it's kind of hard to tell on the screen, but it is really, it's kind of more of a silver look because the image is so small. And so I'm going to go ahead and use my Tombows to color up this image, mainly in this 312. And so what I'm going to do is place a little bit of ink on my floral image and then spread that with water. And then I'll go back over all of the floral pieces once that has dried to do a little bit of shading and darken up the image a little bit. And I'm using a very light amount of water, and so it is not going to disrupt that edge for the foiled image. And then I'm going to take 2 more Tombow markers, 126 and 158, and just alternate those when coloring the leaf areas of the floral piece. So I'm just taking the marker and putting that towards at the base of the leaf image and then at the end of it, and then moving that color with my paintbrush towards the center where there will be a highlight. And then once I'm done with that, I've gone ahead and grabbed an oval die from my stash, and I will go ahead and run that through my die cut machine. And because I cut the paper that the floral image is on kind of funky, I wanted to make sure that when I place that back on with adhesive that I would get it correct. So I'm taking a pencil and outlining that, and then I'll go ahead and put the adhesive on, and when I put that backing or the floral piece in the frame, I'll know where to place it because I have marked it with a pencil. And I am using a little bit of twine, so I created a bow, and then I am just using a single piece. And I'm just going to take some of my adhesive and put that on that back side to adhere the twine. So I'm just going to start it there and then wrap it around the front and then tie it off. And then the sentiment, one of these sentiments that I foiled in the red foil, I'm adding a piece of foam tape to the top and the bottom so that the string can go in between. And I had cut that out using a smaller oval die. And then I'm just going to take a glue dot and adhere the bow. And then to pop this up, I'm using a super thin piece of foam tape. So this is like the dollar store thin foam tape, or the Walmart kind that's in the really big packs. This is not adhesive, so I did have to adhere this with my adhesive. And so I'm just going to go ahead and place that on my card base. I added a few enamel dots, and that will finish off this first card. I really like how the foil looks on this card, on the sentiment and on the flowers as well. It gives it an elegant feel, and then the twine and the enamel dots just ties it all together. And then for my second card, what I'm going to do is use that leftover piece from the first card. So this is basically the negative space on the foil, and I thought I'd go ahead, instead of getting rid of it, I thought I'd go ahead and make a card. So I have taken an oval die and cut out a piece of white backing paper. I've cut out the foil piece, and then I've cut out a thin foiled red border. And the sentiment that I'm using right here is sending hugs. And I'm just going to place that in the center of that oval piece, and then I will adhere the leftover foil piece to my frame. And I've placed the thin floral border, or the thin foil border, underneath so that I could tell where to put my glue dots. And once I have my glue dots on that piece of foil, I'll go ahead and adhere those two pieces together. And then to glue the frame portion to the white backing, I'm just going to take my glue again, and I'm going to place that around the white cardstock this time. And I'm just making sure that I place it towards the edge. And I'm using little dots, or I'm putting down little dots just to make sure that I don't have too much glue and that glue does not seep into my frame area once I place the frame. I am using a piece of red cardstock to mat this oval frame. And I'll add a few embellishments to finish off this card, and that will complete my set of cards for this set. If you're interested in purchasing the set, all the links will be in the description below. Thank you so much for joining me. If you liked this video or found it informative, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks again, and I'll catch you next time.